Oh, there you go, looking to pounce on their wounded prey once more. Here we go, folks. Let's get ready for our penultimate week of ESL Impact Season 7. I'm so excited now as we get to see our very first map. It's going to be Anubis. We're going to kick things off here. FURIA versus Messitas.
Yeah, this is the map pick of Messitas, but they haven't necessarily had massive success on it, unfortunately. If I'm not mistaken, the only time they played it was when they picked into MIBR, and they quickly got dealt with 13-4, and Ancient was also the second map in that game, and they lost 13-2. So if we're looking at maybe MIBR being the weaker team this season, then that scoreline could be spelling a bit of worry for Messitas. But starting on the CT side, they do have the right gamble stack towards the A bomb site.
Arkham holding close here with the dualies. Oh, dodges next to nothing. Bullets just come flying straight at her. This site has been overrun. We're trying to play a little bit of site anchor here, and there has been a lot of damage done. Kiza comes up massive with the 2K before she's eventually taken out, but now it's all down to Sheena. She has to rotate in. A little bit of damage done. Can't connect that final shot. Carl will call for reinforcements. Finally, Carl will go down, but Fazina will clutch it with her third, and ooh, bomb not planted, but that's okay. They won the round.
Yeah, I think it's only like an extra 150, 200 to get the bomb down. So realistically, it's not the biggest of worries. The round is won, and that is 100% what they're focusing on. I don't feel like we gave enough love to Messitas, because this was actually, a lot of these players were the first non-Brazilians to ever play in the South American region. And it's also the core of the Argentinian team that came second in the ISF Women World Championship 2023 of Kiza, China, and Armcan. And they're also playing against one of their teammates in that, Luli Tens. Like, this is a group of players, and especially China, who has played at a very high level and has played for the likes of MIBR, and especially has a very storied past pre-ESL Impact in the women's scene in South America. Like, this isn't just a group of players that we should maybe dumb down or not think that they can overcome Furia, because of Plano, they're certainly watching this, praying that they do.
Yeah, that last chance saloon for a Plano to make it to Dallas. What an upset wouldn't that be? But for now, Messitas trying to do a bit of a round-the-world retake here, running straight into the weaponry. And let's face it, there wasn't too much going to happen in that round. But a couple of kills is quite nice, you know, do a little bit of damage to that econ, force Furia to have to reinvest. Maybe that makes a difference into these next couple of rounds.
Hey, eco damage, any kill is a good kill. So it all goes a long way. But CT side Anubis, it can be a fickle mistress. It can be very daunting, and Furia starting on the right foot can potentially just steamroll like we know that they can. And defaulting, we can already see they're very actively maneuvering over towards a bomb site. And because Messitas aren't really getting proactive around the map, they're not going to get any information until Flossie takes his advanced contact.
Bit of util comes through. That's going to flush her out. Kind of force her off of her position. Great set of flashes, and Flossie cannot find any sort of arrest. But meanwhile, the second prong activates in mid. Bazina doing tons of damage, pulling a lot of that attention away. And in the meantime, Furia has taken full control of the site. The bomb has been planted. And now, well, it looks like we're going to have Bazina slipping away into the night, trying to escape into the T-spawn. And on the exit, she'll get one. Kiza trades her out, but Iza dies. All right, I thought she had that. I don't know how much more Kiza can get done here. One extra kill would be fantastic, but I think it's unlikely. Yep, there it is. Gabs with the final kill of the round. A little bit close, but not close enough, I think.
Yeah, we look at Bazina's role in that round, and people will look and be like, oh, she only got one kill. And sure, the round was probably already won because of the very successful opening kill towards the A bomb site. But that kill that she gets just takes away everyone's thoughts and attention away from the A bomb site. They're trying to hunt her down, and then the rest of Furia mobilize to make sure that she gets protection position and that Messitas are no way allowed to go near the A bomb site. It was a pretty easy call off the spawn from FURIA, and it looks like we've got another just call from spawn, just 4 players death ball towards mid and go from there.
I'd like to see a little bit of cash farmed up here from Flossie. She is primed for at least one, but unfortunately they've taken mid now, so she's going to struggle to find that value. No, just not going to be given that opportunity. It would have been nice if we could see a little bit... I mean, I say that. All right, cool, fair enough. Turn around, get the kill. Sheena able to grab an AK in mid, and that is the perfect call to just back out. Ooh, okay, not going to get to keep the MP9, unfortunately. But at least they'll hold on to the AK. They're pushing this. Okay, I have questions. There you go. Okay, so she does eventually back out.
He goes. Yeah, I mean, it's been a rough early stage for Messitas. I always give a lot of benefit of the doubt to teams in the first gun round, especially on the CT side. You don't tend to have all the bells and whistles, maybe low utility, no AWP, and maybe the odd SMG. So going into this next round, it is going to be a saved AK from China, and it is also some good extra damage. FURIA still do have a pretty big surplus in the bank account, but now this is when we're going to see Armcam get the AWP out. This is when we're going to see everyone on a rifle, everyone with full utility, and Armcam is someone that we shouldn't sleep on as well. I've seen her be very prolific with the AWP, and especially up against arguably the best player, not even AWPer, just player in the whole region. She's going to have to step up pretty massive if she wants to contest against Car, who luckily for her isn't on an AWP yet.
Not yet. I mean, Messitas have done a good job of keeping that economy at least somewhat tight. Now this is the perfect time. Oh, the flash is so good. The shot doesn't connect. Keys has already lost her life. Sheena will also fall to the wayside, and already that AWP has been pushed off of position. A nice shot. I think it was over top of smoke, and Valulu will even out those numbers. So this now actually becomes a doable scenario, but with that kill onto Valulu, this is going to make things that little bit more difficult. This might be the time to just back away. Smoke walls will start to dissipate. And Armcam could get caught out here. Realizes there's likely one holding. They're not checking. It's a swing from Bazina and Gabs to help. And it's full cleanup onto Messitas. They lose every one of their guns and the round.
FURIA's negligence almost got the better of them there. You see the opening kills and like kind of on that execute after the opening deaths of Messitas, Armcam being able to clutch up a kill as someone's just like jumping through a smoke, I think. But ultimately in the 3 versus 3, it's all dealt with pretty well. FURIA are just calling from spawn and they're ending the round within 20-30 seconds, and it's worked so far pretty flawlessly, and they're just doing it again towards B.
I think this is a rough game for Messitas to try to come out on top of in any event, because you're coming up against the best team in the region. Now remember that this was the team that went to Stockholm. They, took the crown away from the then Fluxo, and they went through and they... Fluxo won it the last time. But point being, FURIA has always been up there. They've been, the queens of South America in their own right a few times. So coming into this, it's always going to be a difficult ask to somehow unseat them as a relatively new... I mean, the players themselves aren't new, but it's a relatively new formation, and they're kind of the upstarts here. And we are seeing improvements from them, but they're not quite at the FURIA and MIBR level just yet.
It is unfortunately very hard to get to that level when you've got this chokehold on the scene. FURIA are just getting better and better as well. Like they are currently the best team probably in the world in women's Counter-Strike, because they one-upped Imperial last time on LAN at the end of last year, and so far regionally they haven't dropped a map, as I said. It's been pretty flawless. Them has been very clean, and everyone's firing on all cylinders. So far they haven't even dropped a round on their opponent's map pick, and they've got the right idea. They're heading towards the B bomb site, and currently Messitas are playing very separated, and China needed to there. Only gets one, and look at this. Kisa completely by herself. There's no rotations. There's no one to help her, and that is just round over, confirmed even further by the Lulu's Feld.
Gabs is terrifying. Like, she has these moments where she just goes absolutely nuclear. And that was one of those rounds. It's a bit unfortunate, as you said, right? Sheena gets that first. She should have gotten both there. I don't know what happened with that transfer. I don't know if it was just like a spray control error. Maybe she didn't like stop and readjust. I'm not sure, but that should have been a double. And I think that maybe the pressure just kind of got to her in that moment. And she only is good for one. I'm not convinced that getting two necessarily helps all that much in the longevity of the round. But, you know, it could have made a difference. Unfortunately, hindsight is 2020. And now that's going to be a 7th for FURIA. Now, you can kind of herder T-side this, but this is where Messitas have to start winning rounds.
Yeah, like, I always play devil's advocate, and I know it's unusual for me. Don't worry, I haven't had a heart attack. I'm still breathing. I always play devil's advocate on Anubis, and especially when in the server, if you have a very rough start on any map, if you just get 4 rounds, you can just be fine. And I think Anubis accentuates that point even further. Like, if you're on the CT side and you're staring down the bottom of a 0-7 deficit, if you just get 3 or 4 rounds, 4's kind of more apt. But if you get 4 and you win the second pistol round, boom, forget about those first 7 rounds. That didn't happen. All of a sudden, it's like a 2 or 3 round game. So I'm looking at 0-7. I'm worried, but I'm not like massively worried just yet. Bazina 12-2 does a little. But right now, it's another full purchase for the Argentinians. And simply put, they also do just need to get the ball rolling somewhere, and they might actually have the right idea, as it's another call from Spawn for FURIA. This time, everyone's congregated similarly together, all 5 players looking to head out A.
Messitas definitely don't have the read on this one. Bit of util to come through here. Nice. Arkham gets the shot. Oh, Flossie to follow up does get traded out, but that's a lot of early damage done. Arkham! I think she was flashed out and she just dies in the flames. That is so unfortunate. This is starting to look like a salvageable round, but with her going down, the site getting completely locked down, bomb planted, how do you come back into this? Car is on flank watch. Ooh, uncharacteristic missed shot. That might be a way back into this round. 1 versus 1. Sheena versus Bazina. Ooh, okay, spotted. HE to come through should land perfectly. The wounded prey, and Bazina will clean.
It's so tough. They're so close, yet so far. A 3 versus 2 in their favor, and yet they can't convert that. And I mentioned at the start of that round, Bazina 12-2 terrifies me. And guess what? I had good reason to be scared, because she clutches up the 1 versus 1, 1 versus 2. And even though it's opening kills from Messitas, even though it struggles them to get onto the bomb site, Bazina ricochets the grenade, and FURIA maintain a flawless Anubis.
It's so hard. You said it, and I have to agree with you. Like, it feels like there's no way back in. It feels like this is slowly kind of slipping away. And everything they try, FURIA seem to have an answer for it. The answer being, I don't know, run at them. Run at them and hold M1 and just shoot harder. This is a bit of a throwaway round, but I mean, a little bit of damage done is nice. Kiza can get a bit here, just not necessarily for the taking away of guns, but more so of the extra cash that she would have gotten, but unfortunately not to be the case. Handful of rounds left. FURIA looking unstoppable.
This is somewhat the point of no return when we get to a 9-0 capacity where even if they do get 3 or 2 rounds on the CD side, it almost just feels too much to work with. And what's, I guess, worrying for Messitas is that they haven't done anything really proactive. They're doing fairly similar stuff every round with 2 towards A. The AWP's been posted there a few times. And we've got this disconnect over towards the B bomb site and 1 solo mid. Yeah, good damage, but unfortunately, FURIA, when they actually, it's one of the first rounds, if not the first, they've actually defaulted, and still they come out with a opening kill. It has forced everyone, basically, to maneuver towards the B bomb site. If FURIA just tuck tail and run towards A, there's 1 player within the vicinity, and that seems to be what they're doing.
Yeah, Sheena has pretty consistently lost out the battle here in Dark, but it's because FURIA always send 2, and it's part of the reason. And you can see this is a FURIA that has really done their homework and have figured out what to expect. Now, Messitas have read into this full retreat, but I love that we still have Gabs posted there. There's a good possibility here for a late lurk to come in. Armcam, oh, shot doesn't connect. You can actually see the disappointment on her face, but that's okay. Flossie's there to help it out. Armcam will not miss the second. She does get spotted out by Izza. That's going to give Izza a moment. She knows the space that she can play with. The swing doesn't quite connect in the full meaningful way that she wanted. And now FURIA under a little bit of pressure. That lurk starting to activate, moving its way through. So now FURIA just need to buy time. They need to just not die and allow this positioning. And there it is. Beautiful from Gabs. In behind them, draws the attention. And Flossie, last player standing, can only get the 1. It was so good.
Oh, they even rotated perfectly there. I remember, I was setting that up to be. Everyone's over rotated towards the B bomb site. The A bomb site's fairly vacant. Armcam was only the real player within the vicinity, and they rotate perfectly. They've got the bomb trapped on the bomb site. They get the opening kills on this execute. Flossie and Armcam do fantastic, and then there's this like 30-second window where no one dies. And if I'm Messitas, just fight them. Fight the 2 players A main, and instead they wait too long. They allow for Gabs to flank, and it's the perfect timing as well, because as soon as Gabs comes around the corner, Carr picks up a kill, so they all turn around, and then Gabs strikes, and it's just decimation. It's looking like it's 11 over FURIA. Valulu's the only player alive. It was a half-buy round, and this could be a flawless first map.
Oh, Carr, but a bit of an uncharacteristic one there. Go on, Valulu. Just for the style points, get 1 more. I believe in you. Ah, unfortunate. This has just been pure decimation from start to finish. Interestingly, Ka is actually having the slower day at the office at the moment, which is... I love that we spoke about how she's had these like crazy ratings in every single series. She's super consistent. Something that was said in the green room. She hasn't had a bad day. Costa curse?
It's amusing because she's sitting 3 and 5. They are 11-0 up. So it's one of those conundrums of like, does it matter? Bazina's 17 and 3. Is there a conversation of just like FURIA have just been entering with the rifles? Has the AWP been needed? But for the 10th round in a row, Messitas seemingly have done the exact same thing on the rifle round. And Armcam, to be honest, once again, does actually get an opening kill with the AWP. This is the third time we've seen her do this. Unfortunately, the past 2 times have ended in failure.
Hopefully we can see a bit of a cleanup here. We have instilled Bazina in mid, or installed her in mid, waiting for rotations to come through. She's in a perfect primed position. Flossie getting aggressive. Okay, opts to back out. Might just be the right call. I'm going to throw down a little bit of util to slow things down. And stop FURIA from taking that space early on. I love that they've doubled up in dark, but it's one of the few times where no one's actually pushing it. It's good to have that secondary player, though, just in case. And this could activate a bit of a wraparound for them, but timing is going to be really important on that regard. Now it looks like the exec is going to come through. Omcom with a second, make it a third. Oh, unfortunate. Gabs is there, ready and waiting. Lulu tends to follow it up, but not before Flossie gets one of her own. This is now a rare, winnable round for Messitas, but it's going to have to be so clean. Bomb will get planted, and there's quite a bit of util laying down just to slow things down a little bit and delay those CTs as much as possible. Valulu gets one, doesn't recognize the second is there. It's a beautiful pincer and a prong, and in the very last moments, the dying embers of this half, Messitas will get one.
Messitas looking to put their map pick in the archives as FURIA. They don't quite get the flawless first half, but 11-1, I think they're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that would be an understatement. Messitas did manage to get one in the dying embers. Can they rise like a phoenix from the ashes? 10 consecutive rounds is what it will take. We'll kick off here with this pistol. So far, just a teeny bit of chip damage done. Oh, this aggression from FURIA is beautiful. Nice little swing there. The dualies come out on top. Now Kiza knows that there's at least one player that had pushed there. Gonna look. Whoa, my goodness, she's pushing this. She's going for it. She's trying to draw those rotations away, and it does appear to be working. Sheena has cleared out the A site, but unfortunately her entire team has fallen to the wayside. Now, at the very least, we'll get a bomb plant for that little bit of cash, and let's face it, if she can't clutch this round, they'll need every cent they can get, and round remains unclutched.
Messita is just so good. And I think we saw the most amount of CT aggression we've seen all game on that pistol round. That was a very oppressive pistol round from FURIA, and I'm actually quite surprised that Messitas even were able to put it into a 1 versus 2 and even get the bomb down. Messitas just kept on being picked apart left, right, and center from B, from middle, from A. And yeah, as I said, not gonna lie, the fact that that was a like 3 versus 1 into a 2 versus 1 and bomb down is somewhat impressive. And as Messitas need to go flawless for 11 rounds in a row to push us to overtime, they at least do have some substance behind their purchase. But I will be honest, I don't think it matters.
This could be the end of the line on Anubis. Should be at the very least. Unless Messitas can pull off a bit of a miracle here. 3 Mac 10s, that's a lot to play with, but Bazina playing the close angle. All right, she's only good for 1 before she's traded, and that should be a free upgrade. Might lend itself to a little bit more getting done here, but again, FURIA continue to chip away at those HPs. Car, not afraid of a smoke, but she will get forced back. Oh, and they're just picking these Messitas players apart. Armcam gives away her position, doesn't manage to connect the shots, but it's because Armcam is on site creating a distraction. Now, they've opened up A, they've brought it to a 2 versus 2. They both have rifles. Bomb to get planted. A smattering of utility remains here for FURIA for this retake. Flossie, no, those shots don't connect. Armcam has to clutch, and it cannot be done. Perhaps a little bit of over-eagerness there, it seems, but that will be all that she wrote for Anubis. Messitas will fall on their map pick, and FURIA will take it home.
And it's our Kadia player to watch to win the final 1 versus 1. It's written in the stars. You know it's good when they win the map and they don't even seem to care. No one moves. Everyone's like, yep, next map. 13-1, easy peasy. FURIA were not tested on that T-side war. Every week they tend to pick into it. Beaten the likes of Atrix, Bounty Hunters, and Chemstar Lass very comfortably. Did get tested by the Killers, but the Killers have been known to test the bigger teams this season. They did take a map off of MIBR and also took them very far on Ancient. The issue is Messitas, when we look at their records on Ancient, 13-2 lost to MIBR and a 13-5 loss to O Plano. So as the way this series is going, MIBR, let's see if they can do better than last game. 13-0.
Ooh, all right.
Jesus.
Great way to kick that off. Nice little shot straight to the dome onto Flossie, who has been one of the big naming points for Messitas so far. And she'll just get run over alongside Kiza, which gives free access into the A-bomb site. Ring around the rosy all around the world in 80 days or, 20 seconds or less. Bomb yet to be planted as we wait for these retakes to come in. Valulu, good for 2. She's still standing. She's still ready. She's taking no damage. She's trying to get more done. Meanwhile, her teammate, Sheena, will get 1 as well. Valulu continues along her reign of terror. Now, Isa somehow has to clutch the first to connect, but Sheena will clean it up. That looked a bit hairy for Messitas, but they brought it back.
Oof, yeah, I mean, wow. I think at the end of the last map, I was definitely referencing how every single close round seemingly just went in favor of FURIA. This is the opposite. This is a 5 versus 3 advantage for FURIA gone the other way. This is a 2 versus 2, 1 out by Messitas. A 1 versus 1 went out by them. Very good from China. Messitas, they already equalized themselves to how many rounds they got on Anubis. And it's the exact same play, basically, but this time through Dona. And it's another very vicious opening kill.
And Gabs will continue along with that. Yeah, like that barely had a chance to even materialize into anything. It was a great start for Messitas, but FURIA opting for that force. And very often you might look at that and go, is that the best idea? But FURIA are so confident, for them it's a non-gamble. It's almost like, oh, we messed up in that first round. Let's fix it. They are losing. They've lost one weapon. Hopefully they don't lose too much more. That will determine a lot of how that next round will go. But it will be an economic reset, which will put Messitas in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, like there, it doesn't really matter if Pacina really dies, to be honest. FURIA would still have 3 players alive regardless. The kind of main factor at the end of that round was, can Messitas save those 2 players that were able to tuck themselves away in cave? And the answer is no. No one saves anything. And it's a pretty brutal return to reality for Messitas after winning the clutch in the pistol round. Now back down to the 5-7, an MP9, a FAMAS. Basically no utility. FURIA have been very hot off the pedal so far in on Ancient, and that continues as they put a lot of pressure towards B early on.
Looks like there's a posture for a bit of aggression, but without spotting anything. I think falling back is the right call. However, they've... Oh, this is such good timing from Gabs. It's actually unreal. She pulls away at just the right time, manages to catch both of them as they're turning around the corner. I mean, what do you even do at that point? And now they've lost, I think, 2 of the guns they brought into this. So the last 3 players now have to hold down the site. And I'll be honest, this is looking like it's going to be just a bit of cleanup.
Surprised we are actually heading towards B, because that A main push should signify that there is going to be the last 3 players towards B. I think FURIA are hoping that maybe people have pivoted and rotated away post those kills, but Messitas still do at least have the numbers here. Unfortunately, the numbers don't seem to matter. China, as last alive, will get good damage off, but nothing to suffice a full kill as FURIA go 2-1 as they win 2 in a row. And yeah, as you were saying there, Gab just gets the perfect timing, holding the A main push and drops a 5-7 and FAMAS.
There's been some really cool timing moments from Gabs, it feels like. She's very much that lurky turkey. We saw it a bit earlier on Anubis. Now we're seeing it again here on Ancient. It's got a little bit of transfer as well. Nice control there. And with that reset of the economy, Messitas now, of course, will be back onto pistols. So unfortunately, it feels like a resurgence here is looking less and less likely. Hopefully into the next round when they've actually got some guns, we might see them be able to fight back a little bit because, well, this round was over before it really even began.
Yeah, the anti-eco, the age-old tale. As you mentioned, it's an anti-eco that doesn't even really necessarily produce anything to know. And we go into the 5th round of play. FURIA lost the pistol round and now sit on an average of 7k economically, so this is a little part of me is like, oh, history's repeating itself. And on arguably the worst map for Messitas and the best map for FURIA, this is going to be a very difficult pursuit for the Argentines, but they will have a purchase out. Unfortunately, it is 3 FAMAS as they elect to go for more utility. That's a common theme on Ancient, especially towards the B bomb site. You tend to see players not normally have a primary rifle because they try to prioritize utility.
Now we've actually got weaponry. So let's see if we can put that to good use. Interestingly, FURIA have kind of struggled. No, I'm lying. They haven't struggled with anything. They have extended this bonus.
No one's dying.
Yeah, no, like they're just holding on to these guns forever. Like it took me a while. I was trying to figure out what was happening. This is not the first time as well, because we were talking about this on the last map as well, where she had like 7 or 12 deaths, but she had like 5 entry frags, and she does this. She just cracks open the site instantaneously. How Gabs gets that shot through the smoke, only she will know. And sure, she'll get traded out, but at that point, what on earth is there left for Messitas to do?
I mean, FURIA did play very high octane Counter-Strike on the T side of Anubis, but so far on Ancient, I don't think they've stopped, to be honest. And it's just, you're looking at this round, and it's like, okay, well, it should be somewhat apparent that FURIA are probably going to go for something fast because they've been fast the whole series. And we're just getting caught completely off guard over towards that B-bomb site. 2 players single-handedly win that round out, and it looks like no one's going to be able to save. I say that. You know what? Cam does hold on to the A1S, but it's a silver lining amongst a rain cloud as FURIA win the round within 10 seconds.
quick as you like over before it even began. I think that's the theme for this map, for this series, unfortunately. Blink and you missed it. What do Messitas do here? I mean, it's very similar to the previous map. It's just a pure outclassing. When Iza can just run onto the site, barely even assisted, and get 2 kills without even trying, what is your recourse?
Oh, they're trying to go for a crunch towards elbow, but it's just very slow. The crunch towards elbow, don't hate it. 2 run through the smoke elbow, 2 run through A main. You can definitely pick up pace and catch players off guard, and a lot of times actually catch off the bomb. Messitas don't throw any pace whatsoever and play it very methodically and allow for the heaven, or the heaven players to then activate. If I'm looking at Messitas, I'm a little bit worried because the depth of their strat book on Anubis was definitely showing on the CT side, and on Ancient, their 2 gimmicks, we've seen the exact same thing. It's the double A main push. So where's this lane take? Where's the triple mid start fight towards heaven through cave? Where's the the ramp take? Where are these gimmicks that they've dry run and they've got in their strat books? Or just passive. We can just play passive. Just have someone cycle a nade in red room. Just have someone play donut A main. 3 towards B. You know, yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Just playing passive. Flossie has no nade. Okay, so she can't even break open the red room smoke.
Interesting. I was going to say we've slowed down. No, we haven't. Okay, but Iza finally gets punished for just like running straight in onto the site. That's good, but Lulitenza still managed to make her way in, so there is actually some control there. They're gonna have to deal with this Jaguar player, but again, it's Gabs. It's always Gabs, bro. Oh, she doesn't even get a chance to activate. Lulitenza's like, sit down. But now Gabs can play gatekeeper. Now, the moment that Flossie rounds the corner, she's just gone, caught with util in her hand, and well, that's that, innit?
Yeah, innit, bruv. My culture's, I can't say that's my culture. I sound like I own a house on Park Lane. But yeah, I mean, so even when Armcam got the opening kill, I was looking at the map and I was looking at this round being like, oh, so Messitas have no map control. They had no control towards A, donut, red room, mid, cave, ramp. They literally had no information. So even though that opening kill does come in for Messitas, it's the lack of rotations, the lack of map control, and it's the ability to see someone like Gabs just walk in behind and take all of that information. There was big segregation between the players on the bomb site. There was a player trapped in cave with no support, and Lulitenza just makes light work of everyone. This is a walk in the park so far for FURIA, and they're doing nothing special.
And Messitas now back down onto a nothing buy. I don't know, man. I'm feeling such pain for them. Okay, but now we're biting back a little bit. We've managed to get a couple of kills. Oh, but then we squander it. Armcam's still alive, manages to get 2 in this round. She's got a rifle as well. She's low on HP. The last 2 players from FURIA are very split. But of course, Messitas don't know that. So there's plenty of time for them to regroup. And FURIA now will slow things down and decide where to go to next. They've got over a minute to commit to anything. And Messitas, oh, they've made the wrong call. They've headed over towards the B site. That's going to give Lulitenza all the space in the world to regroup over towards A. This bomb is going to get planted for absolutely free and for gratis. And perhaps for Messitas, all there is to do at this point is save? When you realize the bomb's been planted, do you go for it?
If you were closer, yeah, but Armcam's got no armor. Got to keep that into consideration. If Armcam had armor and if someone had a kit, I think 100%. It's a rough one because I think Messitas have done all the right things in this round. Like it's the lane crunch, it's the group together in the 2 versus 2, it's the take space together, and okay, they're going for it, sure. Car's playing very aggressive. They're both playing very aggressive, and that could be their downfall. Luniten's falls, but Car just lines them up and knocks them down. It came down to a clutch, but FURIA still prevail against the low buy.
Okay, we have an AWP on board. There is now a huge possibility to start making some space because Armcam had some really great openers on the previous map. And if we can just kind of pivot off of that, and I think that's been the big thing, right? Like they get these openers, they get these like moments to pivot off of, but they struggle to actually close it out. We've gone again for this aggressive mid positioning, but there's no one home. The door's been knocked in. Meanwhile, the back porch on A is left wide open. They've completely misread the situation. Bomb's gonna get planted. And the worst part is that they're gonna get encircled in on, because look at where these two FURIA players have been installed. Bazina gets the first one before she's traded out, but we still have Gabs in Narnia that can potentially still circle in. We've still got Izza holding Red Room, waiting for anyone to peek into her. Meanwhile, Flossie's made her way in onto the side. She's cleaned it out. She's not gonna go for the defuse. She's actually gonna regroup. No time, not on their side, doesn't have a kit. And at this point, she has to back away right into Gabs.
The Panthers, in their domain, in their environment, are frolicking. Just so easy, so simple. They make a perfect call. It's literally, it's best case scenario. And what's brutal for Messitas is that they've actually been playing and starting players or a player towards A every round until the last two, where they've gone for this lane aggression. Bazina's common, mouse and motor. Guys, they're taking lane. You can speed up on A, and that's exactly what they do. Even though Bazina does get one kill, she is traded out fairly quickly, and the retake is able to go fairly quickly. Gabs also kind of out of position. She was a little bit too far away for my liking, and if the kills had actually come in successfully, I don't think she would have been in a viable position to actually contend with the bomb being defused. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. The post plant was very effective, it was very aggressive, and FURIA just took all the primary zones and suffocated Messitas 8 in a row. They stand on Ancient, they lost the pistol round, everything else has gone in their favor, and Messitas once again forced onto the low buy, and here comes the B rush.
I mean, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not an ooh. There was a potential for an ooh. There was not an ooh. Deagle ooh, maybe? Nah. 9 rounds for FURIA. Messitas, I want to say hanging on by a thread, but let's face it, not hanging on by a thread. Barely. I think they're drowning at this point. And it's horrible to say. There's a point where you have to just call a spade, and they are just getting outclassed right now. It's really sad to see, because there's so much talent on this roster, and I think with a little bit more time, I said this a bit earlier, they haven't reached their ceiling. They certainly haven't, and I think with a bit more time, they may yet get there. However, we've still got 2 rounds left in this half. Perhaps we can get 2 more. Maybe make it a bit more competitive into the second. They line up for Sheena, and she takes full advantage. Flossie to follow it up. They're speaking it into existence. They're manifesting another round. Armcam misses the shot, which allows Car to get one, and she will be the Lone Ranger here. She has to ace 1v5, but the shot connects from Armcam, and finally Messitas will get one more.
It's a round on the board, baby. And hey, if the AWP starts long every single round, it's eventually going to get a kill, right? Armcan has been having a pretty rough run of form, and I don't think it's been very dynamic with the AWP, similar to what I brought up on Anubis, of just kind of stationed towards the A-bomb side on Anubis and towards long on Ancient. And I think that's been a bit of a difficulty for Messitas, but this round they do well in actually crunching mid and actually crunching towards lane. But FURIA are not deterred by the difficulties in their previous round. They are already out mid, and Flossie, that nade, well, it's very much heard. Sees only one in middle and gets mollowed away. FURIA very intent on taking this map control, but Bazina solo swings into cave and will actually give up an opening kill. And speaking about solo swings, Gabs mimics that towards Red Room.
We may yet have our third with 2 kills managed to pull into their favor. We do finally see one trade to come through. Kiza, beautifully done. Obviously traded out, but 2 versus 3, more than doable for Messitas. We've seen them flub rounds like this before, so it does need to be clean. A nice molly, laying down just to slow things down a little bit, but now Balulu's position is known. She's mollied out. She's still able to get the first, not able to get the second, however, and it's all down to Car. 1 versus 2. She's dropped that up, picked up the AK, bomb to be planted, but they're pincering in. They're prowling. They are channeling their inner Wildcats, and they will take one more round off of the Panthers of FURIA to bring our half to a 9-3.
Press play.
Messitas, they make us believe a little bit. It was 1 round at the end of the first half on Anubis, but now on Ancient, they at least are able to prize 3 away from FURIA, stepping up towards the end of that half. A pistol round here could make us believe, and Oplano, sitting on the edge of their seat, are hoping that this is the case.
Gonna need some magic made here. I'll be honest, those last 2 rounds in the previous half seemed like the start of some magic. It was looking like it was gonna be a bit of a problem. But they managed to get something to wiggle with. A little bit of breathing room now. Heading in towards this A-bomb site. Sheena, beautiful 2K from her to open things up. Yoinks the dualies, and she is going a-hunting. Unfortunately, she didn't play enough duck hunt. Isa certainly did, but the rest of her team, you know, with that distraction, will do a little bit of cleanup. And Messitas will win the second pistol round. But the question is, can they convert this time?
The most rounds Messitas has got on Ancient is 5 against Oplano. They only got 2 against MIBR. So they're somewhere sandwiched between that right now. And this second pistol round win does give them a chance. It's a slim chance, but it's a light at the end of the tunnel. They had a good end to the first half. They won, I think, 2 kind of back-to-back or within 3 rounds. Pistol round here, it's a eco over FURIA. This is 5 most likely for Messitas. And if they're able to convert the first gun round, this isn't copium. There's a game on our hands.
FURIA have made the correct gamble. Are keeping a little bit of a lookout towards Red Room in case of that lurk. Messitas playing a little bit of a quiet game here. With Flossie getting spotted out, that should confirm FURIA's suspicions. They can hear Flossie kind of stampeding through. She's going to get that opening kill. And that could be the green light. Runs out of bullets. It's a good trade from Bazina, but nice little bit of util damage to continue chipping away. Messitas taking a page out of FURIA's playbook with all of that utility damage. And with only a couple of players left, it feels like this time Messitas will not capitulate. They will convert.
3 kills is the best sort of damage because it's the old saying, if 3 can buy 2, 2 can't buy 3. But hey, 2 kills on a full USP round, they're always going to be happy with that. Chipping away a little bit of the economy, because we looked at FURIA, I think it was round 5 or 4, they had an average of 7k in the bank account, give or take. So that evidently isn't the case right now for Messitas. As we go on to the rifles, FURIA, if they win this, that's all the copium gone. But this is where I'm looking at Messitas. This is where I'm looking at them to step up.
Nice little bit of early util just getting lain out onto the ground. Space taken, but Messitas play this well. They hold back a little bit rather than run straight into the barrage. And that's drawn out almost all of FURIA's utility. 2 smokes and 2 flashes is all they have left for a potential retake scenario. As the bomb starts to make its way in towards this A site. FURIA already rotating in. How have you gone and done that? 2 kills instantly onto the tip of Messitas' spear. And now that spear is just a stick. And Flossie's going to have to back out, regroup. And now they have to figure out what on earth they do with the rest of this round.
You said there wasn't much utility on FURIA, but they use it perfectly. Messitas thought they had a timing. They led a small charge up ramp, but it just walked straight into the hands of FURIA, exactly where they wanted them. And now with this missed Red Room smoke, FURIA still maintain the majority of the information, and it allows Bazina to focus towards this A bomb site where the impeding doom is coming upon her. Flossie, that flashbang should reveal that Messitas are coming out onto this A bomb site, and they have no smoke for anything. No smoke for Donut, no smoke for CT, but they fight through Donut. Bazina falls, Car left by herself, equally topples, low HP across the board, but it's a 3 versus 3. The bomb's been planted, and the trades stay effective for Messitas. Both players now positioned towards Donut. Flossie tantalizingly low, but there's no kit for FURIA, and there's also no utility. Gabs is just sticking it. Louis 10's providing coverage, but only good for the first, and it's for Lulu to clutch up, and Messitas are firmly now back in Ancient.
Oh, what a ridiculous recovery from Messitas. It was looking to me like there was no way back into the round, but they do a nice little pivot over towards that A site. And in the dying moments of that round, it definitely gets a bit stressful. You've got one holding bomb. You get this crazy swing from Luli Tens before she's eventually traded out. And for Gabs, there's a moment where you start to think, maybe if she just sticks it, it'll be fine. But she gets off. And she does, in fact, lose out on that duel. And it's a beautiful clutch to keep Messitas' hopes and dreams alive on this map. And for FURIA now, with like no money remaining, this is the beyond perfect time for them to come back into it, Messitas very specifically, because they can get a 7th here. With, FURIA will still be able to buy into the next though. So Messitas need to keep this really clean.
Someone didn't press their skull wheel and just threw the elbow smoke into spawn. Guys, they smoke CT spawn. It's a rough one,
Freddy
I
is
think.
the meanest person on the planet if you miss your util, guys. And then production just goes right ahead and just like
Nade
backs him up.
police. Nade police.
Bro.
If I get
I'm
flamed
here
for
being
it,
like,
then...
y'all are so... I'm trying to be nice and Freddy's just like, ha! Missed smoke.
If I get flamed for it in my pugs, then they're gonna get flamed for it as well. I mean, realistically, that smoke doesn't have too much effect in this round because FURIA won. Well, they might have been going towards middle and might have cancelled that play because of no elbow smoke. But they do take towards ramp, they crunch towards lane, and they do come away with a 3 versus 3 and 2 AKs collected. Issue is, Car has no armor and Iza, who does, has 8 HP. This is a 3 versus 3 where obviously the retake is possible, but if I'm FURIA, just save the 2 AKs. And Lulutens isn't budging in T-spawn. Car's playing very protective in middle. And Iza, naturally, 8 HP, armor deagle, there's not really to lose. So see if she can chip away a little bit at the damage of Messitas. But this is now a 2-round game, which is kind of hype.
And honestly, all things considered, this is a great round for FURIA. Like, they walk away from this with 2 recovered weapons.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, they had like nothing coming into it, so...
And an AWP next round on Car.
Yeah, boy. I should probably give a bit of an update. So Kremsalas won their first map against the Brave Bears. I think that was a 13-3 or a 13-4, somewhere there. And now on the second map, they've just gone into halftime at 12-0. So a bit of a one-sided affair over on that side of the pond as well. A little bit rough.
It's quite good. They're also, if I'm not mistaken, they're using Tamazina, who had stepped in previously. So she's a super sub that's been looking to play in this season and has been picked up. And it's really cool to see the depth of the region, which is always a really cool thing to note. And right now, I think Messitas are showing that depth from the region. The only non-Brazilian core team are currently giving FURIA a run for their money on FURIA's map pick.
And this is like, I don't know, it feels like the South America special. Whether it's winning each other's map picks or just like Ancient is going to be a banger, you know?
Yeah, that red room smoke actually is a bit of an issue right now because Messitas don't have the mid control that they want, and especially this is accentuated by Car holding the angle in donut. She's coming over, there's no one's crossed, and on top of that, picks up an opening kill. Now it's allowed for Bazina to leave red room, rotate over towards B, and hunker down this bomb site, which Messitas are gonna try come through this ramp smoke. It's not gonna be easy. 2 cave, 2 through ramp. The flashbangs are blinding their own teammates and they're just running to their doom. Lulutens doesn't even need to see them. The spam through the smoke and it's double digits for the Panthers.
That's devastating. And it's one of the few times where I will not give you grief for talking about a missed smoke because it certainly did make a big difference there. I will say, crouch peeking, I mean, you don't know that the AWP is there, but chances are somebody's holding that, and to just kind of like slowly, you know, I wanted to say moonwalk, but moonwalking is backwards, but just kind of like slide to the right, cha-cha slide, there you go, cha-cha slide into the crosshair. Not the best way to kick that off. Losing a player, back down onto pistols. Okay, Flossie with the 1 AK manages to get a little bit done, but that's going to be all she wrote, unfortunately. And that's going to be FURIA going up to 11.
They just don't really care, do they? They're just swinging in for the sake of swinging in. This is back to reality. This kind of what it feels like to me a little bit, unfortunately. And Yeah, it's this really nice storied comeback from Messitas that is now being squashed with sort of on-cam falls before anyone has even seen each other.
It's a terrible way for the round to kick off with Armcam going down so early on and Gabs continuing to be a problem. Although I will say there's been an inordinate amount of like dry swings and sure, money plays a part in some of the rounds, but in many of them money was not a factor. They just dry swung stuff. And I mean, you dry swing FURIA. Yes, we talk a little bit about the whole Pika's advantage thing. We actually spoke to Car about it at a point, about AWPing in CS2 and you know, the potential advantage on being swung on. And she was just like, it makes no difference to me. It's a little bit harder, but it makes no difference. And like, yep, she's goated. And that is the FURIA mentality. Like, it doesn't matter that you have a split-second advantage. We're still going to win.
I thought you were actually going to bring it up on the other side. I was about to say, oh, I'm really glad you brought that up because I thought you were going to mention how FURIA were just dry swinging because that's what they were doing. We had Bazina with no nade in Red Room and they were just fighting. I think it was Isa and Donut. And I thought you were going to say like, oh, you know, it's really, you know, Isa just dry swings them and it still works. And that's what I thought you were going to say. But yeah, Messitas, very ineffective utility that round. No smoke for the Molotov. And that was the first kill that came through. And then they just kind of walk into the meat grinder. 5 rounds in a row they have to achieve to force it into overtime. And they're starting off with a pretty precarious buy. And they are sitting 3 behind elbow, 2 behind the door smokes.
This is going to be a tough round for map and series point. And this is one of the worst ways that you could come into this, but they do have 2 Tech 9s and a Mac 10, and it's just not gonna happen, man. I was ready, I was waiting. It's just not gonna happen, and that will be FURIA winning out this series. It was a little bit more of a close affair on that second map of their own pick, but beautiful. Really, really well done from them. The recovery, the ability